Winston Churchill. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. And all over the world owes you a debt. Good luck to you all. God bless you. The 8th Army. I want to give a very hearty greeting to everybody here tonight. It's a very large gathering and it's a wonderful show. This reunion, it started from very small beginnings and has gone on to this great gathering. And it's a historic gathering. Historic gathering and a reunion for many old friends. I personally would like to come down and shake hands with every man here, but obviously that is not possible. Now, when you have a gathering of this sort, a great deal of very hard work has got to be done. Now, gentlemen, this is the 4th anniversary of the Battle of Alamein. And I'm delighted to welcome in this hall such a large gathering of all those who fought with me in that battle. But what we're all particularly glad to do is to welcome the leader of our nation in the late war, the leader who brought us through.
Like Stonewall Jackson, too, Monty was renowned for his personal austerity. The greatest self-indulgence which Stonewall Jackson ever allowed himself in wartime, a luxury which he reserved for most memorable occasions, was to suck a lemon. On the many days when I visited Montgomery on the morrow or the eve of important battles, or while they were in progress, I'm glad to assure you that I cannot remember that the bill of fare was so severely restricted. Otherwise, I might not have followed the operation so closely. But, of course, politicians don't always like having their old speeches flung up at them, but I didn't think they were so bad, after all, when I heard them read out by him. It took the 8th Army into his... In General Montgomery, I think we had one of the greatest masters of the art of war which British history claims. At the Alamein dinner a year ago, I coupled him with Stonewall Jackson, who was also a professor and teacher of military science for many years before he leaped into fame at the head of an army.
That was the leader. He brought us through the dark days, and he led us out into the sunlight of victory. There he is up there, just above the 8th Army sign. There he is. Now I think it's well for us here today to recall how dark were the days through which he led us. And there's no doubt they were very dark days. We ought to think back to those days. And in the early days of the late war, our allies were struck down, our forces were driven off the continent of Europe, and it seemed that Britain herself would be invaded. And we stood alone. The British Empire alone, alone against the armed might of the Axis powers, led by an all-conquering Germany. And I doubt if ever before in her long history if Britain had ever been in such deadly danger. And then out of England came a voice. A voice. We shall defend our island whatever the course may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. And we shall never surrender.